Seriously, the tracks in the interconnected layout in Mario Kart World are shaping up so damn nice. There are currently 30 confirmed tracks that are all seamlessly connected on a massive world map. This includes a lineup of 16 brand new courses, and then also forcing retro ones as well. Although, the word retro doesn't really apply all that much this time around. That's because the classic courses have been seriously reworked. Many of them look almost unrecognizable, with major changes to the layout, the scenery, the gameplay mechanics, just like underwater driving, time of the day, and even weather mechanics. But it just makes so much sense. With Mario Kart World's open-ended, free roam structure, Grand Prix, and rallies, this game isn't just reviving old favorites, it's literally reinventing them to just fit into this real-world setting. So of course it has a lot more details going on around it. Even more interesting though, is that some retro tracks even appear to just appear organically in the world map without any official names or even being tied to a cup. They're kinda just there like hidden surprises just dropped into the map. I seriously love that. In this video in particular, I want to go over all the known courses, this being from the cup tracks to major landmarks, and even briefly looking at the knockout tour routes as well, and then just giving my thoughts and predictions where there are gaps in the selection. And I also want to share a few predictions and wild theories that we could see in the upcoming Mario Kart World Direct, just in relation to the tracks and the world, because we have been told it's worth that hefty price tag from Nintendo themselves. And I'm inclined to believe them. I think there could be even another mode or two just related to this massive world map and the tracks. Before we do get started, I just want to let you know that I am giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 when this thing launches, and also a copy of Mario Kart as well. To be part of the giveaway, all you have to do is simply be subscribed to this channel. That is it. Let's go ahead and start off with the Grand Prix, and it's super different this time around. Each cup now kicks off with a classic 3-lap race, just like you'd expect. But after that, things start to shift literally. The remaining 3 races in the cup use a section-based format, very similar to Mount Wario or even just the Mario Kart Tour tracks from past games. These races specifically include intermissions that just transition you from one environment to the next, with the final section taking place on a new 1-lap course. That's not all though. The way the cups now work is actually different from the past entries. They're no longer segmented based on new and retro courses. They're now actually combined together, and actually segmented based on region. Let's go ahead and start with the Mushroom Cup. And we've actually got full gameplay of going through every single course here, and I'm a really big fan of this cup in general. The 4 tracks in this cup are Mario Bros Circuit, Crown City, Whistletop Summit, and DK Spaceport. Let's start with Mario Bros Circuit. This one actually really impressed me for a circuit track, to be completely honest. I think it's the perfect way to kind of start off this game because of course it's going to be a nice, really simple track, but it also shows off all the different mechanics that is available to this game. So you can go on the rails to grind, you can go on the walls a little bit. It has a few little split paths as well, kind of, but they're not the most in-depth kind of ones. So obviously towards the end of the course, you can go towards the right-hand side and go over the glider ramp. And then it looks like you can almost go on the left-hand side, grinding up on the top too. So it's pretty cool. Also, I'll mention this one here, but just getting to play all these courses at different times of the day and also with different weather variants is just going to be really damn cool. And it's just going to shift up the atmosphere and the gameplay for all these courses. Then we get to make our way over to Crown City. And I'm not going to talk about all the intermissions in depth here because it's a lot of straight roads and sort of just making your way there. But this is the one when I first saw it, I was a little bit nervous for because it looked like just a normal city track. And we had a lot of them in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Tour. But this one's really, really cool. I love how you actually get to go on the rooftops and you're kind of just grinding on the rails. And for a Mushroom Cup track, I also like how there's no real actual railing on some parts as well, so there seems to be a little bit of risk too. So this feels pretty good. And I also like how it feels more like an actual modern or futuristic city too. It's really nice. It reminds me of New Donk City. I actually think that Whistletop Summit being the 3rd track here, it might actually be my favorite one that we've seen so far from the Mushroom Cup. I think it was Albert Boris that described this: if Merry Mountain and also Calamari Desert had a child together, you would get this. And honestly, I'm a massive fan of this. I love the atmosphere, especially when you start getting to the actual railway section as well, and there's a lot more split paths that start to open up and you can go different directions. I think that's really, really cool. And then of course you can actually go on the actual rails itself, and there seems to be a nice few little gap jumps you might be able to do too with the feather. So this one's really good, and I love the section as well with the train, how it almost presents itself as a major hazard. I'm extremely excited for this, and yeah, this one just looks phenomenal. I think this is going to be a fan favorite. Speaking of fan favorites, so we of course have DK Spaceport. This one caught me off guard when I first saw it, and I absolutely love it. This is essentially just the original Donkey Kong game reskinned, and I'm all for it. I love the atmosphere here as well, just being super dark and rainy when we get to see the gameplay. It just really immerses you in. I love how there's multiple layers as well, which makes you just feel like you're playing the original game again. You're dodging barrels, dodging those fire flame thingies at one point, driving up the walls, and then of course finally encountering the Robo DK on the final level. And it's set in a freaking rocket launch site. This is so damn cool, man. And for a final course of a cup, this is a really epic finish. Moving on, we have the Flower Cup. This is essentially all retro tracks, and I love the selection here. We have Desert Hills, Shy Guy Bazaar, N64 Wario Stadium, and Airship Fortress. Let's start off with Desert Hills. My lord, this track looks unrecognizable now, and honestly for the better. I love all the background details now, and it just feels so immersive. It actually feels like there's sand flying over your cart and actually getting in your face, just kind of making things feel a little bit more blurry. I seriously love just the part of this track now which has the sand monster just jumping in and out of the sand. I'd imagine this be some sort of course hazard as you continue racing. And the starting banner as well is really cool. It has a carving of the angry sun on it, and I love the references of the Battledons as well too. And in one of the course icons for this track, there's even the Battledons and the Tokodokus as well, which is really cool. I hope they become a playable character maybe. I just love all the Mario Land references here. They're pretty epic. We then have Shy Guy Bazaar, and this track looks pretty much identical when it comes to the layout from what I saw anyway, but I really love the makeover this course has now. Of course, we've only seen gameplay of it during the day, so I would assume it's going to look as stunning as always during the night. One of the biggest changes I did see here was just the fact that you can actually grind on the rails on the top of the track now too, so that's pretty epic, and it really just embraces that Arabian kind of feel too. But probably the coolest thing of all from this course now is just all the Daisy references, which is just referring back to her kingdom of Sarasaland. You get to see her castle in the background. There also seems to be statues resembling Gaos, and there's also tapestry with a Tokoro pattern on it as well here. Again, loving the Mario Land references here. I seriously can't wait to explore this in free roam. We then finally get the opportunity to then race on Mario Kart 64's track of Wario Stadium, and half of it's gone, which is unfortunate, but the original was just a lot of jumps over and over again, and it probably would have been a little bit too long to have here. However, I do like the makeover it has gotten, but man, I really do miss having Wario's face just planted all over the track. That's what made the original one so epic. I actually have seen some gameplay footage of this track now, and I don't mind that it has been shortened a little bit, to be completely honest. It still feels pretty long and epic, especially if it's going to be raced over 3 laps. I really like the vibe it has going on now too. It feels like an old kind of dirty place where you'd watch cars just rally against each other, so I'm actually quite a big fan of this. I also do like how the jumps have slightly been changed in certain parts too. By that, it's not just a complete dirt road anymore, with a bunch of bumps in it. You have actual platforms coming up to different places, and just being able to see the crowd in the background in all different circumstances is really cool. I especially love the big jump at the end as well, where you're going over all the fire. It just feels super epic. I'd probably consider this one a glow up, but I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are mad because, you know, it kind of got the GBA treatment because it got shortened a fair bit, but I still like it. For DS Airship Fortress, I personally haven't seen all that much gameplay. This looks absolutely epic. I love all the chaos that's actually going on during the sky now, with all the explosions and bullet bills flying around, and I really love that dark kind of atmosphere. This one looks really good, and I have a feeling people are going to be pretty damn happy this wasn't remade for the Booster Course Pass now, because I think this track really has a lot of justice being served to it just being on the Nintendo Switch too. Editing Swiftjar here for Airship Fortress. I have now seen gameplay, and this course looks almost identical to the original, just looking so much better. So I'm extremely happy with this. Moving on, we have the Star Cup. And we've been fortunate enough to actually see gameplay of all 4 of these tracks, so I can actually have a proper opinion on this one as we've actually seen it. This cup includes DK Pass, Starview Peak, Sky High Sundae, and Wario Shipyard. A pretty banging course selection if you ask me. Starting off with DK Pass, man, this course actually caught me by surprise when I saw it. This looks beautiful. The first thing that really caught my attention now is just the fact that this kind of feels like an entire ski resort, kind of similar to DK Summit. I really love all the DK signage everywhere too. His design here, in my opinion, looks incredible, and he's all dressed up in a ski outfit too, so hopefully we get a costume for that. The track looks largely the same as the original, just way better. I like how it kind of seems a little bit foggy in the distance too at some points, obviously because it's snowing, and especially all the snow just shooting out at one point too, and just having the Shy Guys just skiing around. This course looks beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, Starview Peak looks stunning. I really like the journey to actually getting to Starview Peak, and especially getting to see that the chili bullies are also now back. Of course, the normal bullies are also back too in other courses, which is really epic, among all the other cool Mario enemies that we see as well just around the world. The course itself is really cool. You start off by driving through and get to see a bunch of Lumas, so hopefully they're playable, but again, who knows. The inside of this course looks really nice, kind of feels like an observatory of some sort, really just referencing back to Mario Galaxy, and the track itself is pretty cool. It's not my favorite one out of all the tracks we've seen so far, but I can't really fault it all that much. It almost has a kind of rainbow-esque feel to it as well when you're driving on like this icy kind of platform in the sky. It's just magical to see. And hey, there's even chain chomps as obstacles too, so the more the better. The third track here is Sky High Sundae. Man, I probably sound like a broken record right now, but this track also looks insane. It looks so much better than it did in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart Tour. I really love how there's actually now split paths you can take, and just the overall design of this feels so vibrant and just so epic. I feel like it's no longer just bogged down by the anti-gravity sections that kind of felt forced in the 8 Deluxe version. All the signage as well really fits so nicely. And I love the end of this course as well, just inside the ice cream shop with all the moving screens, and just everything about this course makes me just really want to play it. But the split paths and the railings here, that is the cherry on top. Last up is Wario Shipyard. This, I had no idea was Wario Shipyard when I first saw it. It has changed so much. It always feels like a kind of ghost ship kind of vibe here. The biggest change of this track in particular is the fact that all the underwater driving is now gone. You're now actually driving on top of the water. The atmosphere they showed in the actual gameplay where it's raining, man, it looks really good. I'm actually starting to think that I prefer this version more than the original, and I really like the original, so that's a major compliment. I also really like how it's all lit up by blue flames, especially when the anchors just swinging side by side. Again, really feels like a ghost ship here. I kind of hope this is always played at nighttime. This takes us to the Shell Cup, which is the last cup that we technically know officially of all the tracks that are going to be inside of it. We have SNES Koopa Troopa Beach, Faraway Oasis, Crown City again, and then Peach Stadium. Let's start with Koopa Beach. This is actually a combination of both Koopa Beach 1 and also Koopa Beach 2. I really love the party vibe that it's kind of got going on here. You have water just spraying out everywhere. I also love the Koopa Troopa at the very start who's wearing a cap and also sunglasses, just really matching that vibe. It really feels like a party vibe. Faraway Oasis is the next track, and this one also looks phenomenal. It's literally set within a large savanna, and it's populated by heaps of animals like elephants, zebras, and giraffes. This is arguably one of the tracks I'm most excited about. From some gameplay footage I have seen from Nintendo Duo, it does appear to have a few branching paths as well. And it just looks really epic with the waterfalls and just the entire savanna kind of atmosphere, especially with the waterfall section as well. This is gonna be good. Then we get to go to Crown City again, and we only have this one little piece of gameplay footage which just shows that it's at nighttime. I don't really have anything else to say on this that I hadn't already said for Crown City, but hopefully it's good because the original looks pretty good. Then to finish off this cup, we have Peach Stadium. At first, I was kind of in two minds if I liked this idea or not. But this actually looks like a really big, massive festival finale to just finish off the cup. So I haven't seen too much about this track, but I am getting Royal Raceway vibes and also Mario Kart Stadium vibes just combined into one. So I'm all for it. Now we're getting into some uncharted territory. And these cups haven't been confirmed in terms of the order yet, but I have done a fair bit of research online and I'm pretty confident that it's going to go in this order. Let's start with the Banana Cup. First up, we have Peach Beach. This course looks really good from the small snippets that I have seen of it. It looks like it's got some real nice buildings going around it now. It doesn't feel kind of like an isolated beach anymore. And the Cataclacks are returning as well, so I'm pretty keen to see more on this one. The next course in this list is Salty Speedway. This kind of gives me similar vibes to Venice, just where the course is kind of on the canals for a lot of the course. This course does admittedly look pretty beautiful, but I'm not sure if this one's completely sold me just yet. I'll save my judgment to actually playing it. We then have Dino Jungle, and I can't even begin to tell you how glad I am that this course is returning. I've always loved this one. Getting rid of the far right path though in this course was an interesting choice. Not sure about this one. However, the second half of the course looks to be redesigned into a laboratory. They've also added a dinosaur between the two bridges leading into the tunnel as well. But overall, if you like Dino Jungle, this is going to be a winner, I'm pretty sure. It kind of feels like Jurassic Park, which is epic. I can't wait to see more of this. Then last off, we have Question Block Ruin. I don't really like the name here, but besides that, the rest of this track looks pretty epic. It's literally a whole entire temple in the sky. And it seems to be set within a jungle too, with some pretty crazy jumps and whatnot, so I'm keen. Then we have the Leaf Cup. Starting off, Cheep Falls, I haven't seen pretty much any gameplay at all, and this looks to be kind of like a waterfall that's kind of set in the autumn, so this is pretty promising. Next up is Dandelion Depths, and wow, this course is absolutely stunning. The whole place is full of beautiful autumn trees, just giving it such a nice, cozy autumn kind of feel. There seems to be trains that zip past above you on cross sections, and to be honest, it kind of just feels like a really well designed park. What I have seen a fair bit of though is Boo Cinema, and I have a feeling this might be my favorite ever haunted course in Mario Kart history. You're literally driving across film rolls and what even seems to be a parts of the SNES Ghost Valley tracks at times too. This one is going to be an absolute banger of a ghost track. I also love in this track how you actually drive into a movie theater and jump through the screen, which is really cool. Drybone's Burnout immediately gives me Mario Kart 7 Bowser Castle vibes, and I absolutely love it. The entire track seems it's just in this deep kind of dark blue area cave, and it's just really eerie. The paths themselves look kind of risky. There seems to be a fair few narrow boardwalks, and I'm all for that. There also seems to be a few split paths as well, which again is really good for a real high risk kind of track. Plus, the Drybone theming here is really epic. Then we have the Lightning Cup, and this one's pretty interesting because normally lightning's quite difficult, but we're actually starting with Meadows. I've actually seen no official gameplay of, except of course for the rally one, but from what I have seen, it looks like Meadows, and I'm sure it'll be better than normal, so I'm excited for that. Choco Mountain definitely caught me by surprise. This looks completely different from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and especially different in comparison to the N64 version. This is basically set in a construction site now, with heaps of charging chucks just around as well. It looks to be oil just spilling out of everywhere as well. Well, I think it's oil. But it still is Choco Mountain, especially with all the boulders just rolling down as well. I'm glad this one's back. The only thing that I do miss from this one was just the cave section that they brought into Mario Kart Tour and also 8 Deluxe, albeit this still looks pretty good. Then we have the fan favorite Toad's Factory, and I'm so glad to say that this track has not changed for the worse. If you like Toad's Factory in the original, this looks practically identical. This is arguably the course that has changed the least, and I think people are going to be pretty damn happy about that one. It looks so good. Then lastly, we have Bowser's Castle. Man, this looks epic for a Bowser's Castle track. It has these red and blue kind of neon lights that you drive through, and then kind of like a tech area which just feels super intimidating. Of course, you're just surrounded by flames the entire time as well. Then you have your typical just red carpet areas where you then go through some flames flying up into the sky, where it's all filled with lightning, And of course, lots of lava again surrounding it just for the danger atmosphere. And then there's just a bunch of stuff just flying around when you're going through Bowser's mouth, it seems. This track honestly looks epic, and I'd imagine be pretty difficult as well. And then last up, we have an unnamed cup, which I'd probably assume would just be the special cup. Starting off, we have Acorn Heights. This gives me major Wild Woods vibes, and I'm absolutely here for it. The entire forest atmosphere is just gorgeous. It looks epic. I also love how the course throws you right into the thick of the trees. There's giant leaves and mushrooms just everywhere, and trying to figure out the best path for it all is going to be such a fun challenge. Then there's this section near the end, which I think is pretty cool. It has a bunch of different paths, plus it also seems that some of the plant stems you might actually be able to ride on. So that'll be pretty fun. This one is definitely shaping out to be one of my favorites. Then we have Mario Circuit from the Super Nintendo. We haven't seen much of this one, but from what we have seen, it just appears to be a combined version of Mario Circuit 1, 2, and 3. Man, they must really hate Mario Circuit 4. One of the things that makes this version stand out to me though personally is just the atmosphere in the background now. This actually feels like it's just a circuit track within a world. It doesn't just feel like a real old plain generic track anymore. For me personally anyway. Then we have Peach Stadium again, which I would assume would just be a different route this time around, just in comparison to the Shell Cup. Then lastly, we have Rainbow Road. We actually know this because of Nintendo Korea, who actually leaked this early thanks to this graphic of the course logo. While it doesn't reveal too much, it does show us some pretty exciting things. This time, it looks like the theme isn't going to be space, or just the usual starry kind of night. It's actually thunderclouds and what appears to be a sky-based setting. There's even some sort of giant golden pendant shape like a star right in the center of it, and I'm just loving the energy it's giving off. It just feels a whole lot more mythical. Alright, now that we've gone through all the confirmed tracks that we'll be racing through, there are also several other courses that can be seen or even played on just during the intermissions. This includes Ghost Valley 1, Ghost Valley 2, and Ghost Valley 3 just before you get to Boo Cinema, and also Big Donut on the way to Bowser's Castle. Then you can also see Choco Island 2 just on the map, and then this site here just really reminds me of Vanilla Lake 1, but I could be wrong there. I'm sure there's plenty of others too, but that's just what I could see anyway. Alright, after all of that, let's move on really briefly to Knockout Tour. And I really don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but it looks like each cup includes 6 races, just with players getting knocked out along the way. The main focus here seems to be on the intermission, with only the final lap taking place on an actual track. There appears to be 8 different rally cups consisting of the Golden, Ice, Moon, Spiny, Cherry, Acorn, Cloud, and Heart Cup. The Mario Kart Wiki has actually placed these in a very plausible order, just with all their logos, so this appears to be all the routes that we'll be driving in. I absolutely love this mode, and every race is going to feel super different. It's going to be good. Now, with all of that out of the way, which is all extremely exciting, I just wanted to go over a few predictions I have just in advance to the Nintendo Direct all on this game. These are things that I just think that we could see, and I put it in this video because it's all technically just part of the world, so it kind of fits in here. The first thing that I think we'll see is an adventure mode, or a story mode of some sort. I think this will be full of unlocks, missions, and just other activities as well. We've already seen things like the P-switch just around the map, and just a bunch of other things that is extremely suspicious as well. So I think it's pretty likely. I think you could do a few things during this mode, but just things like battling CPUs, competing in races with some, wind conditions or whatnot, kind of similar to Mario Kart Tour's challenges, and then even something similar to Mario Kart DS's mission mode. Kind of fighting like a boss like Goon Boss, for example. And hey, how cool would it be if you could actually then recruit those bosses after you beat them and then play as them? Now that'd be pretty cool. Then my second prediction is actually going to be something a little bit weird. I have a feeling this game might operate very similar to Mario Kart Tour, just where the game continues to get updates every few weeks or months. And my thinking behind this is just because Nintendo actually came out and said that the higher price tag for this game is justified, and just to wait for the Mario Kart Direct, and then we'll see why. Hopefully, if this is like a kind of DLC thing that gets just rolled out, it doesn't cost any extra, because people aren't going to be happy about that. But then again, it's Mario Kart, and most of us are probably going to get it anyway, so hopefully it doesn't cost anything too major, or anything at all. But honestly, A service type approach to this game would just keep this game just living forever, and Nintendo could just keep marketing it whenever they want to make and sell more Switches, so it's a pretty good idea. Just imagine Donkey Kong Bonanza, for example, releases, and then they just drop Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, Cranky Kong, and just the rest of the crew with a track. Who wouldn't be on board for that? My last prediction is just that we're going to see some sort of Mario Kart radio for free roam, meaning you'll be able to hear all of Nintendo's bangers coming on the radio just when you're cruising around with your friends, but that's just an out there prediction. But with all of that, this has been all of my thoughts and predictions for everything Mario Kart track related and world related. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, and if you do agree with any of my predictions, just in terms of the cup selection that I put everything in that wasn't already confirmed, and of course my predictions which I think we might be able to see in the direct. I'd love to know all of your predictions as well, so make sure to put them down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and also subscribe. It honestly really helps out the channel a lot. And until next time though, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!